Welcome to Ball and Chain Podcast. This is episode 205. Today is not February 15th. It's actually February 16th because we're a day late. But that's okay. We had some important things to take care of.
My dad's birthday.
Your dad's birthday. Yes, your dad's birthday. And I had to work late, so... Well, welcome to, like I said, welcome to Ball and Chain Podcast. This is a podcast about movies, video games, TV shows.
Whatever the heck we want to talk about.
Pretty much whatever we want to talk about. Everything that we enjoy that entertains us, that we think might entertain you here. Let's turn on the Twitch video. There we go. Hey, guys. Hey, Twitch. Whoops. But yeah, so my name is Mox Born again. This is ItsMyAngel, and we don't really have a gamer tag for you yet, do we, buddy?
Eli had his before he was even born. This kid we're slacking on.
I'm sorry, dude. We really haven't got one for you just yet. I mean, Eli's was pretty much like right on, like baby crazy eyes, because we get really excited. His eyes would get really, really big.
Yeah.
Your eyes are just really, really big all the time. Yes, they are. Maybe we can call you Rolls, because you've got so much rolls.
Or Pukey McPukerson.
That's terrible. He's gonna like grow up and be like, "Oh, it's okay, buddy." All right, so we got a little bit of housekeeping news to talk about. We've missed like 2 or 3 weeks of shows.
I don't even remember.
Well, the last time we podcast was when Resident Evil 7 came out, and I was giving my first impressions, and that was January 24th.
Oh, wow.
So it's almost been a month since we've podcast. So I apologize. I apologize for that. This shouldn't happen, but I do have good news.
Life has been...
Well, no, not life. I seem to remember when we were podcasting. Oh, I forgot to hit record. Damn. Oh, well. There we go. We'll just start soon. Start late. Anyway... I seem to remember when we podcast last time, we were talking about our initial reactions to Resident Evil, but we were sick. And we were like, okay, I think we're over it. And turns out we weren't over it. You were sick. I think it went from Eli to you. Sawyer. I got a little sick. I didn't get it nearly as bad as you guys did.
We all had the respiratory stuff, which then turned, I think it was a cold, which then turned into, like... caught the flu from having our defenses down.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a rough couple of weeks.
Right.
There. Ear infections and flus and, yeah.
So that pretty much, knocked the whole house out.
Yay.
So I think because we were joking about that on the episode that week was...
Eli being patient zero
about Resident Evil and us playing the zombie games and all that stuff. So, but yeah, so now we're back. We should be... Everyone's healthy, knock on wood.
Yeah, watch what you say.
Everyone's healthy. You are just super interested right now, right, bud? But the other thing we did was we updated our branding for all of our streaming services across the board and everything like that. So we will no longer be streaming to twitch.tv/BC Podcast. Originally, that channel was created just for our show, to host our show. But luckily, me thinking ahead, I picked up twitch.tv/72DPI Online, our gaming plans website, essentially, just in case we were to branch out. And obviously we have the Mana Drain podcast, which is a Magic podcast, so that doesn't make any sense to be on BC podcast. So we just go ahead and roll right over to our clans website's Twitch channel, and basically any clan member that wants to create a show or record a podcast, we have a Twitch stream set up for everybody, and we'll be good to go.
Right.
So yeah, so that's kind of what we've been up to. We've updated all the graphics on the YouTube channel and also on the Patreon page and all that good stuff. The Facebook group has been updated and all that stuff. So good times all around. So let's talk about our top 3. So number 3, what is this? Is it Lourdes University?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think it's Lourdes. It's a university in Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in Ohio. they are going to be adding a competitive video game athletic program, which is
Or to
nothing.
their athletic program.
Yeah, to their athletic. Ooh, watch your head. Oh, dude. Oh, I thought he was crying. I think he knocked his head on the mic. I was like, oh,
No. It's,
there goes a few brain cells.
the mic is soft. It's
No,
the foam.
He hit the metal part.
No, I'm sorry, buddy.
Child abuse. I'm calling the cops.
Oh, don't even say that. Right. So back to what we're talking about, adding eSports.
Yes, we'll talk about that and the all the stuff that goes along with that. We've got a Game of Thrones review from Telltale Games.
It's been a while since I've played it, so I'm going to have to dig deep for that one.
Yeah, it's a relatively old game, but it's a fun game. So you'll talk about that. And then we've got, finally, a month later, have our review for Resident Evil 7, which we do have gameplay footage for, but we don't have gameplay footage for yours because I recorded it incorrectly like a douche.
Oh.
So I'm sorry about that. All right, so you want to go ahead and just jump right into the university?
Sure.
So it looks like it's actually University in Ohio. So Lourdes, Lourdes,
It's in Sylvania.
Sylvania. So that's northern Ohio, right? I think that's
Yep.
northwest Ohio. Yep, there you go. So it looks like they're going to be adding a competitive video game to this athletics program, joining an association with about 30 other schools across the country. And they put in there so-called eSports, which we all, like all the video game people that are out there, know that eSports is a thing, but it's not really like, nationally accepted, I guess, is the thing, or like widespread acceptance as of right now. But this is a step in the right direction, I think.
They offer scholarships.
Yeah, it looks like they're offering scholarships. Let's see here. What else was it?
Now, I posted this on my Facebook page, and it kind of sparked a little bit of discussion amongst some of the other people on my friends list about, because it's a part of the athletics program,
Right.
and whether or not you can truly call video gaming athletic, because athletic
Has to do with physical activity.
Right.
Which I can see the argument in the sense that if you compare it to football, of course not. You're not going to be able to. There will be nothing that carries over from one to the other. You want to come see me, bud? Okay. There you go.
So
You sit, like, right here.
So the game, like,
People might
so
not
would
see
you
that.
would you rather have it classified into the
Chess
like,
club?
clubs?
See, I don't know because
I mean, like sorority, fraternity, like other club memberships.
Right.
School, there's academic clubs and things like that. So, should it be classified more as that versus athletic?
see to me, to me it would be more. I think it's more athletic than that. I mean, if I were to compare it to something, like, say, I'm going to piss a bunch of people off here, but golf, for instance. Golf is more, I think, would you consider golf more of a technique than a skill, like a certain skill set? Like, you don't really necessarily have to have a huge strength. Like, I mean, an upper body strength, yes.
It uses a lot of coordination.
Right.
Muscles. It does strain your muscle. It
I'm
does.
not saying it doesn't, but like when you compare football to golf, I would say that, in order to be a more successful football player, you have to hit the weight room much more often than you do as far as golf is concerned. So in that aspect, I would think, hand-eye coordination would relate more, between golf and like an e-sport type of thing. It's still like competitive in nature that you have to communicate between multiple team members. So in that aspect, I would see more relationship to an athletic program. But as far as like classifying it as a club, I think you're right. I think it does fall more into a club than it does into an actual athletic sport. But it's already inside, like this news report was talking about. They're joining an association with 30 other schools, so there's already a set presidents for this type
Right.
of game or
Right.
program. So it's not like it's anything brand new. But the school also is looking to recruit 60 esports athletes over the next few years. So they're already like thinking like, okay, we're gonna scout people, and scouting can be a very expensive part of a school's bottom line, right? You have to pay someone to go to these schools and watch films and all that stuff. It's not cheap or whatever.
And I'm wondering where they're going to for these types of things.
Twitch. I guarantee they're watching people on Twitch.
Really?
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
So they're not going to physical. I mean, like if college for football, they would go to the high school football games,
right?
Because at this point, as far as I know, most high schools aren't having any kind of esport.
Right, but they're probably going to like world championships and things like that for different like StarCraft and Dota and League of Legends games. I'm sure they're going to like MLG events and things like that. So I'm sure they're going to those events. But most of the things can,
right.
You can see, gamers online. You can see them in their, the one thing that you won't get when watching a film is
you'd have to know their ages. Is this person looking to be going to college in the next year?
Right, but I think it's also part of their job title to persuade that person to go to college.
Well, but I mean more of, are they of college age?
Oh yeah.
Having to figure out how to sort
right.
through Twitch channels, if that's how they're going through it, and trying to figure out the ones who are,
right. I'm sure they're looking for popularity too. So like obviously like the ones that are getting the most eyeballs or whatever in the season streamers, they're kind of putting them at the top. So I as far as it being athletic, I can see the conversation that was on your Facebook page of it not being an athletic sport, a traditional athletic sport, more of a club.
Well, the other interesting thing too is then who, you got colleges paying big money for these like head coaches of teams. Who are the people that they're hiring to lead these esports and do the scouting? And I mean, that opens up a whole nother position there at the university. And who are they hiring for those positions?
Well, I mean, most of these teams already have coaches, which is
I doubt they're scouting entire. Well, they could be in scouting entire teams. I don't know,
right.
But
yeah, just go ahead and tear up that outline.
Here, don't let them have that. I think paper cuts and stuff.
Oh, okay. So, no, I agree with you. I mean, to me, you're right. It's probably more of a club, and it's my biased opinion, saying that it's more of a sport than golf is, but that's just me.
That's definitely just you.
I don't know. I'm not saying that golf doesn't take strength and body and weight training and all that stuff, but on the spectrum of football, basketball, track, stuff like that, that's all the way at the other end of the spectrum, in my opinion. Wrestling, that's with football, like that's like complete upper body, lower body strength. Like if you're
about swimming,
that's all upper body strength. Like you have to hit the weight room for that.
Okay.
So I don't know. But like for like esports, like there's a certain dexterity to it. There's fatigue. I mean, there's definitely fatigue. Like you go to these events and it's not like, okay, we're gonna play 2 rounds of Halo and then we're gonna have a champion. No, it's like you're playing for a good 10, 15 hours straight, and it's if you have never been to one of these events, it's a spectacle. It's definitely you get into it. And it's not like these kids. It's not like these players are just like they just wake up one day and like, yeah, I'm a badass Halo player. Like
they are kids though.
Most of them are kids, but it's most of but you think about who's playing college football, like 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. Kids. So, it's not like they wake up and like, all right, I'm gonna be a pro Halo player. Like, no, that it takes time. It takes, energy and devotion and time, and I think I said time twice. It does take a lot of time. So anyway, all right, we'll switch gears. And you got anything else you want to talk about? How video games are not a sport? You hater. Hater's gonna hate.
I'm not a hater.
Hater's gonna hate.
No, I think we covered it. I mean, if there's any other viewer comments or definitely would like
Yeah.
to see other people's take on how they feel about.
Yeah, put them down in the comments in the YouTube channel or in chat. I'm kind of curious to get your guys' opinion. So, all right. So, Game of Thrones. How was it?
Not your kind of game.
It's fun to watch.
It's more of like a choose your own adventure book. Like, that's what it reminds me of.
Right.
Very dialogue heavy, and any kind of action is all like quick time events. Like, hit X, now hit Y, now tap B.
Right.
Reaction, everything you say has an effect. You say something to somebody, it'll pop up and say, Cersei will remember this, or
Right.
things like that.
Shit.
Right. And come down to find out that there's really only like 4 different endings, and they're really not that much different from each other.
Right.
So that was a little bit of a disappointment. I would like to see another season come out. I don't know if they will, because it's been a couple of years, I think, since this one released. As an effect, you say something to somebody, it'll pop up and say, Cersei will remember this, or
Right.
things like that.
Shit.
Right. And come down to find out that there's really only like 4 different endings, and they're really not that much different from each other.
Right.
So that was a little bit of a disappointment. I would like to see another season come out. I don't know if they will, because it's been a couple of years, I think, since this one released. But it did leave things on kind of a cliffhanger.
Right.
Kind of depressing. I mean, there's really no good way to finish the game.
And you play as like a different. You don't play as one of the main
houses.
The main houses. You play as a different house.
You
so
play
they
as you play as a bannerman. Like they were bannermen to House Stark.
Oh, really? I thought you just played for Forrester.
No, you play House Forrester, but they are bannermen to House Stark.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, at the very beginning, members of your household are at the Red Wedding, which is where it starts out. So you kind of see glimpses and pieces of events that take place in the show that you've seen,
right?
But you're seeing them kind of behind the scenes and from a different angle. Your house is pretty much getting demolished.
Yeah.
By Ramsay Bolton. They've taken over the North, and your house was devoted to Stark, so they're not, very happy with that. You do see him come in. You get to see Daenerys. You have some interactions with Daenerys, Jon Snow.
You also have interactions with what's her name?
Marjorie Tyrell, Cersei,
yep.
And Tyrion. And they got the actual actors
voiceovers, which is nice. It helps with the immersion. It definitely does.
Right. And it's,
what do you think about the art style? I mean, it's Telltale. I think. I mean,
the graphics aren't anything spectacular.
It's their art style. It's very like
angular.
Yeah, it's very angular. It's not cel shaded. I mean, but it's not realistic. It's kind of like a happy medium between.
It's like they kind of try to be realistic, but it's just kind of.
They're like, we know we're not going to get this spot on, but we're going to get close. And
I mean, it's nothing to write home about. I wouldn't spend $60 on the game.
Well, I mean, it's not a $60 game. I mean, they're all downloadable games. I think you're looking like between $30 and $40. But if you buy it now, and we bought the whole 6 episodes or 8 episodes for what, $10 or less.
Right. Well, we rented it first.
Yeah. Don't rent it. Go buy it. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it was an interesting experience. It gives you a little bit of a different spin. When Game of Thrones is on a break and you're wanting a little bit of Game of Thrones fix, it kind of does that for you.
Yeah, if you haven't played it, it's definitely worth a play.
Yeah, but overall, I'd say a little disappointing.
Yeah. That's kind of like how I feel about all their games. Like the Walking Dead ones, like the first few episodes were, oh boy. The first few episodes were okay, but like it just seemed like it was the same monotonous thing over and over and over again. Like, and I'm not a big fan of QuickTime events anyway. So like this game it's more fun to watch the story unfold as someone's
But you know
playing.
who did that well was that Heavy Rain.
Yes,
And that was all like a quick time event, story driven, but there were a lot more big breaks in the story that led to very different endings.
And then you also played Life is Strange. That was somewhat of a quick.
That one only had 2 different endings, which again was a disappointment to me. I feel like
everything sucks.
No, I just feel like
you were so hard to please.
If you're gonna boast that your actions have effects, make them really have effects. I mean, there's games out there since the PlayStation, like Star Ocean, right? Like 48 different endings. I mean, this isn't something new that they are testing out. It's something that's been able to be done for a while. So, if you're gonna do it, do it.
Do it right. Balls to the wall. Come on.
I mean, that's not too much to ask for, right?
I agree with you. I am very underwhelmed by those games. Like, I mean,
Heavy Rain was one where, I mean, there are some very different endings. People are alive, people are not alive.
Oh yeah, when I say these games, I mean Telltale's games. I don't mean like QuickTime event games. Usually are on my shit list at the beginning. But Heavy Rain was one of those games. Was like, wow, this is really cool.
LA Noire.
That one I really did not care because I was terrible at that game. Like
I liked that game.
I would fail as a detective.
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember a whole heck of a lot about it, except for the fact that I really liked it.
It was cool because you had to read the person's face, and you had to read. You could tell like based on how their face, like oh yeah, I'm doing that, and they look away like you're lying, liar, like you killed this man, but you're like I don't know. That was another game that was I think was ahead of its time.
So you getting frustrated?
Yeah, I'll trade you. All right. Ugh. Oh, you got my head.
Toes.
There we go. All right. So let's switch gears. I'm gonna turn on some gameplay for Resident Evil. So if you are on the Facebook page, you can head over to twitch.tv/72DPI online.
Or you can watch the baby.
Or you can watch the baby. Either way, one or the other. Oh, hey, look, the video is of a map. So Resident Evil 7, oh my god. Let me just say, like, if you go back and watch our last episode, I kind of gush about the original games and how much I enjoyed them, and give you a background of all that stuff and how involved I was with the first few games or whatever. So I won't go too far into that. But this game really, really played to at least the first part, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. The first part of the game, when you're being hunted by Jack, is very much a hide and seek type of game. And like, let me tell you, that part of the game and that
your heart's thumping.
Terrifying. Like that first section of the game is probably the first half. I want to say probably the first half of the game is when Jack is alive, chasing you down. Not really chasing you, but it's a hide and seek, throughout this mansion house thing, and you're trying to solve the traditional Resident Evil puzzles. The weapon or the inventory management is much more akin to the original series, where you a lot of times have to choose between, do I take the extra ammo or do I take the extra health? And this game kind of takes it a step further, and you can modify the item or the ammunition and the healing, the health or the medicine, to where you like. There's a specific item that you use. Okay, if you I don't remember what it was called now. I don't remember what it's called. I'm not going to try and think about it. But there's a specific item that you can't use unless you add it to, the health item or to an item for your ammunition. Basically makes it a +1 or whatever. So it does more damage or it heals more of your health. So you have to make those decisions, and, it's kind of nerve-wracking. You're thinking like, okay, I think there's a boss battle. You kind of have a feeling when there's a boss battle coming up, but with Jack chasing you down, it's kind of like there's a boss battle could happen anytime, because you can't kill him. He's just you can knock him to the side, knock him down, and run off. But he eventually will catch up with you, and there's other enemies that are chasing you down and stuff like that. So the first part of the game is excellent. You know, the puzzles are a lot of fun. They do this really cool thing with these videotapes that are, they kind of show you a what's coming up, and they kind of fill you in on some of the story and things like that. So that gameplay is really cool, and you don't just watch the videotapes; you actually interact with them, and you play the character that's you play the character that's in the tape. You can fail that if you die in the tape, obviously the game's over and you got to restart all together. But you know, that's the thing. Hi, buddy. What else? The puzzles are a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of the originals. You know, find this piece, turn. You know, the shadow puzzles really brought back like memories of the old games, which is awesome. Oh, let's see here. Talked about hide and seek with Jack. Like, that was really kind of like the most terrifying part. Like, okay, where is he? You know, you're looking around each corner trying to find the quick, like here, like on this video, like this on the stream right now, you can see I'm like, okay, what's the quickest way around? I only have a few bullets left. Obviously, if I run into anything stronger than one of those little spider things, like, I'm not going to be able to do anything. Like, I've got 2 bullets. So it's a lot of like, okay, what's the most, you know, the quickest route, but the least like interactive, like dangerous route.
And I watched a lot of this, and I missed you playing a lot of the rest of it. But it definitely sounds like, or seemed like this was kind of the scariest part of the game.
And like, not like scary as like, oh, that's really disgusting. More like, you know, the originals where you're traveling through the same locations over and over and over again, and that one time, like, you happen to walk down that same corridor and there's nothing that's happened. Like, all of a sudden something busts through the wall, or something, like, you know, crawls up through the ground, or like there's some of these creatures that you can see, like the green, like, or the black, like mossy looking stuff that's on the floor and walls. There's creatures that can like come up through those things. And they can kind of, not really teleport, but they can kind of move without being seen through that stuff. So, like, you can be walking through it, and, like, there's nothing in front of you, and then all of a sudden there's a dude that just, like, comes up from the ground behind you. You're like, oh, shit. Oh, what else? But, I mean, overall, like, it just, if the whole game was like the first part, it would be fantastic. Like, after you defeat the boss, Jack, for the spoiler alert, first time, the game kind of takes a weird shift. Like, it's no longer like you're being, you know, you go through the game, you know, and you interact with one main villain at a time. So, like, the first one's obviously Jack. The second one, I believe, is the mom, I think. And she kind of, you know, her final form is very, very in tune with, akin to Jack's, you know, hide and seek thing. But, like, you're, you know, kind of walking around like this cottage area. You're not in the mansion anymore. There's only like really like 2 or 3 major areas in the cottage. So, like, there isn't really that sense of urgency, because you're not you're traveling to this part. You get the part that you need over there, and then you're traveling back over here, get that part, and then you're traveling to the main door, and then you're done. There isn't a lot of like back and forth with Jack's portion of the game, and it kind of loses that tad bit, and then turns more into like, ew, that's really gross. Like, she turns into this spider thing, and like, she's crawling up, and, you know, her boss fight is excellent because she's crawling up and down this like 3-level, you know, house or whatever, and you're trying to
busting through like holes.
Right, she picks you up and pulls you up to different levels, and you can fall through to different levels, and, you know, she's creating like interacting with the environment. So it's really cool.
Fireplace. She comes out of the fireplace.
Comes out of the fireplace, and, you know, it's really cool. Like, it's a great demonstration of like an awesome boss battle where it's not just like, hey, shoot this person in the face 15 times, or hey, find the glowy part that's the weak point. No, it's like, you need to pay attention to where you're at and where she's at, because you hit her a couple times and she kind of just disappears and you don't know, and then you have to go look for her, and she just kind of like crawls out and, you know, pulls you down, or, you know, rips your, you know, gun out of your hand. So overall, the game was fantastic. If I had $60, I'd buy it flat out. Even though I finished it, I know there's free DLC that's coming out. I would definitely purchase it. It's one of those games that you're gonna want to play and show friends. You know, like, hey, check this out. This is a scary game. Like, you haven't seen one of these types of games in so long. Like, you liked Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, not so much 4. But yeah, it's definitely akin to that. So, story-wise, it's kind of ho-hum as far as the story goes. You just kind of, your girlfriend, wife went missing a long time ago, and she contacted you out of the blue. You knew exactly where to find her, so you went into this house and found her. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of strange. But Resident Evil story really has never been that deep. It's more of, kind of like
Yeah.
hey, bad shit's happening at this location. You better go investigate. So, it is what it is. But yeah, if you want to know more about my interactions with the game or whatever, want to hear more about it, you can see the video up on our YouTube page, youtube.com/72dpi online. Or if you actually go to our website, 72dpionline.com, I've got a blog post about it that you can go check out. Leave a comment if you've played it. I'm interested to see who's actually played the Resident Evil games. If this was a good one for you, or if you're kind of waiting to pick it up, what you're looking for. Leave a comment. Be happy to have a nice little conversation about it. But yeah, anything else you want to talk about?
A quick spot on the Pokemon Go update.
Oh man, I thought you were going to go Walking Dead on us, but you went Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go, huh? Okay.
Update today.
Yeah.
Eli was super excited.
Oh yeah. So 80 new Pokemon have been added.
New berries.
New berries. The game's a little bit harder now because the Pokemon actually move on the screen. It's not like they every 30 seconds will jump and then go back to their spot. So you can't.
Right.
So playing it is a little bit harder because you can't just be like, all right, swipe up and look away. Oh, did I catch it? Yep. Okay, great. Next.
But yeah, so we won't talk a whole lot about that because it's getting late and this one's getting sleepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a thing.
Yep. So definitely download it. There's a whole bunch of new stuff. But all right,
Eli was super excited.
we'll talk Walking Dead next week. I think we're gonna do our episodes a little bit different. Our structure with the episodes a little bit different when it comes to TV shows. We'll have our top 3, and episodes that have just released won't be in those top 3. We'll have like a spoiler discussion at the end of the episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can actually tune into the entire episode once we do the sign off, and then we'll go into, hey, we're going to spoil the shit out of this TV show. So we'll talk about Walking Dead next week, because not too much happened this last episode. It was a very building up episode. So I have a feeling we'll have a lot more to talk about next week. Good episode to come back on, though. I really enjoyed it, but we'll talk more next week. So,
alrighty.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. If you watched us on Facebook Live, head on over to our YouTube page, youtube.com/72dpi online. Hit the subscribe button if you want to know when our videos go live. Obviously, the Ball and Chain podcast will be up there, but we also have Mana Drained episodes for Magic the Gathering fans, and then tomorrow. Today is Thursday. Thursdays I usually upload some type of gaming stream. I think the next one we're gonna do is Beyond Good and Evil, which is an old Xbox 360 game. I'll be playing that. And then Fridays I upload some type of video as well. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you like about the show or what you don't like. I don't care what you would like us to see.
Get that baby off of there.
Get the baby out of there. Get that baby to bed.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, if you'd like to support the channel, would you like to support the channel? If you would like to support the channel in a monetary way, you can head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/72dpi. And for as little as $1 a month, you can help us keep the light on. Maybe we will, like we always say at the end of the show, maybe we'll invest in a reflector for this side so we won't have to keep replacing light bulbs. But yeah, 72 DPI is our Patreon page, and we'd really appreciate it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be back next Wednesday, not Thursday, Wednesday, for your regularly scheduled programming. Have a good night.
Goodbye.